Microfinance banks selling forex to lose central bank license. Petroleum Product Price and Regulatory Agency insists fuel price remains until federal government and Labour ends negotiation. Continue to pay your VAT to us, FIRS advises. Plus, oil prices rose on Monday, recovering from a 7-day losing streak with support from a weaker dollar. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja. I am Musa Abubakar. Now, let's bring you up to speed with the business development. Nigeria is making effort towards improving her revenue generation through the export of her agricultural produce. Some of these efforts will include ensuring that the proposed agro-processing zones takes off this year in 8 locations in the country. African Development Bank, United Kingdom, and International Fund for Agricultural Development are to collaborate.
I am optimistic. In the next 2 years, we will not need to import sugar into this country. Because the amount of investment made and the results that are coming within the next 2 years, we will meet our requirement of 1.5 million tons of sugar every year.
The private sector is a key player in seeing future agricultural development. The private sector really is at the centre of agricultural development. Harnessing foreign direct investment and foreign technology will allow Nigeria to advance further. Positive corporate behaviours from the private sector actors are also a critical part of promoting and protecting good nutrition, and these must be strengthened.
Nobody survives by simply just producing and exporting raw material to other countries. It won't go anywhere. Vietnam takes almost 80% of our cash. They process and they gain more from it. I believe that Nigeria and all the countries that have been suffering from this very unsustainable pathway to development, we have learned our lesson from COVID-19.
Now, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has advised taxpayers to pay value-added tax to it to avoid penalties. Director of Communications and Lies in FIRS, Abdullahi Ahmed, gave the advice in a statement on Sunday in Abuja. He said the FIRS issued the directive following numerous inquiries in the aftermath of a recent judgment obtained by the Rivers government at the Federal High Court sitting in Port Harcourt. The court had on August 9 ruled that the Rivers government, not the FIRS, was the rightful authority to collect VAT. Following the judgment, Governor Nelson Wike on Thursday, August 19, signed into law a bill that authorizes the Rivers government to henceforth collect VAT in the state. The FIRS spokesperson explained that since the organization had already appealed the judgment in which it sought a stay of execution order, that the status quo should subsist on VAT collection, taxpayers should continue to pay their VAT to the FIRS until the matter is resolved by the appellate court. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has issued a stern warning to all microfinance banks operating in the country to desist from engaging in activities beyond their operating limits or risk losing their license. The CBN, in a circular, says certain microfinance banks now conduct wholesale banking, foreign exchange operations, and other activities that represents a substantial danger to financial system stability and therefore become imperative to remind all microfinance banks to strictly comply with the extant revised regulatory and supervisory guidelines for microfinance banks in Nigeria 2012. The Apex Bank reminds that microcredit and retail transactions carried out by microfinance banks are limited to 500,000 naira per transaction for Tier 2 unit microfinance banks and 1 million for other categories, and microcredit facilities shall constitute a minimum of 80% of total loans portfolio for microfinance banks. CBN therefore warned that it will continue to monitor developments in the microfinance bank sector and apply severe regulatory sanctions for breaches of extant regulations. Now let's see how the naira is exchanging against other currencies. Focus of the day, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, is seen as the game changer that will enhance Africa's capacity to unlock growth and create jobs by building the nation's industrial capacity, enlarging her productivity and becoming competitive globally. This is believed to be possible as Nigeria has the largest economy and population in Africa, with more than $500 billion in GDP and a population of 200 million. How ready is the Nigerian entrepreneurship to take advantage of this market size is the focus today. And joining me in this conversation is an entrepreneur, CEO, Lilux Bags Academy, Chinwe Ezenwa. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you briefly take us through your journey into entrepreneurship and the progress so far?
Thank you very much. I must say that my journey into entrepreneurship started way back during the Civil War. Wow. When I was a teenager, I always tell people that I became old young because I had to look after my parents by hawking food items, the proceeds of which I used to look after them. And little did I know that that war was preparing me for the value I'm able to create today. Okay. So I will thank a bit of that entrepreneurial development. I'll give a bit of that to the war.
Okay, can you give us a picture of that now?
Well, a picture of the war?
A picture of your
me
experience now.
Well,
because you talked about hawking the early days. Yes. What about now? How big is it?
It was big. It was food.
Okay.
I was making some local moi moi then made with cornmeal.
Okay.
And then I was supplying it even to some people who supply it to the war front.
Wow.
As a teenager. So after the war, actually, most of the monies made were converted to only 20 pounds.
Okay.
And as a teenager, I got that 20 pounds.
Okay.
And from then on, I went back to school and I'm able to travel outside Nigeria. And after my studies, I was able to learn some skills.
Okay.
And coming back, I met two of my siblings that were unemployed and challenged. One was deaf, and the other one was challenged. She suffered autism as a young lady. And I had to teach them this skill.
Okay.
And today, the value that I have created through this skill is enormous.
Tell us about the value today.
The value is that I was able to get a lot of people employed.
What are you into today?
I'm into bag making.
Okay.
You can see.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, how many jobs have you created so far? Let's talk about jobs now, over
Well,
the years.
If you ask me about jobs, I would say, how many wealth have I created? It's uncountable, because I've imparted skills to a lot of young people who have run with it and have made fortune out of it. These bags are sold all over the world. Yes.
Can we put it here?
Yeah, you
No.
can.
So that,
The Look bag is a household name, it's a brand.
okay.
It's an African brand. It's a global brand as well.
Okay, let's talk about the African Continental Free Trade Area. I don't know, how do you see the role of women? Are they ready to take advantage of the single market?
Yes. Women actually are the market. Women are the real market we're talking about. Because if you train a woman, you have trained the nation. You find in most verticals, food chain, clothing, ICT, you find a lot of women there. So I think we are more than ready to challenge that market. And at Lelouk, we have created an army of women through our training programs that will be able to supply that market.
Okay, the Nigeria contributes an estimated 76% of the total trading volume in the ECOWAS region. What role is the Nigerian woman playing in growing this market?
Well, the Nigerian woman, like I said, is the market. The Nigerian woman is the new face of wealth, because the baby boomers, of which I'm one of them, in a few years from now, are going to be transferring a lot of wealth to their descendants. And a study carried out by McKinsey has shown that you have approximately about $30 trillion of wealth that should be transferable in the next few decades. And I think the Nigerian woman that you see everywhere in the market is poised to be able to get a share of that market and that money.
Okay, if
So
you
we're
imported skills from China, and how are you replicating these skills in the country,
I wouldn't say that I imported skills from China. No.
Okay,
I would say that I imported machinery from China.
okay.
I transferred knowledge that I acquired from Chinese into my business. And the skills, I had to also transfer it back to the ladies I'm training. So those skills are going to yield products and services which are exportable. So I didn't transfer skills from China, but I got their knowledge. I had to get their skill, their trick of this trade. Why are they doing better than us? At a point, I had to take a lot of my staff to China to train them so that they know the technology. Why are people rushing after Chinese products all over the world? So we have those skills. All we needed was transfer of technology.
Were you able to achieve that?
Yes, I have achieved that. I'm even surpassing that right now.
Okay.
Because through the academy, we are teaching people skills such as pattern making, sewing, designs, cutting, how to attend to your customer relations, and ICT, because right now, designs, you can get them through Corel Drawing. So we have achieved a lot, I must say.
Okay, where do you see the woman entrepreneur several years from now on?
Like I said earlier, the Nigerian woman or the woman is the face of the new world. If you look around you everywhere, women are everywhere. And women are now embarking on all manners of trade and in all professions. You are now seeing women pilots. So through the value chain, I can see the woman taking over the entire enterprise that human beings have never known before. A female is the new face of wealth. And I think Leluk is also the new face of wealth with her ladies in the academy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chinwe Ezenwa, CEO, Leluk's Bags Academy.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Now moving on, the Federal Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy says it is 90% ready to unbundle the Nigerian postal services. It says the agency, more than 2,000 property nationwide, will be deployed to money-spinning ventures. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, told the news agency of Nigeria that property and development, logistics, courier and microfinance company were among the forthcoming ventures. According to him, all assets of NIPO scattered all over the country will be fully utilized to maximize revenue generation for the emerging business enterprises. Now, the Petroleum Products Price and Regulatory Agency on Sunday said the Petroleum Industry Act had signaled the full deregulation of downstream oil sector. It was, however, quick to state that the negotiations between the federal government and Labour will minimize the effect of subsidy removal upon full deregulation of the sector. The Executive Secretary, PPPRA, Abdul Qadir Saidu, in a statement issued in Abuja, stated that petrol price will be adjusted in a way that it will not cause hardship on consumers, adding that the current price will remain until negotiations with organized labor, which will develop a feasible framework that minimizes the impact of a market-based pricing policy on the masses, is concluded. The Petroleum Industry Act had provided legal governance, regulatory and fiscal framework for the Nigerian petroleum industry, the development of the host communities and related matters. Oil prices rose on Monday, recovering from a 7-day losing streak with support from a weaker dollar. Although the concern about surging cases of the Delta variant led to cautious trading, Brent crude climbed $1.23 to $66.41 a barrel after dipping to $64.60 earlier in the session, its lowest level since May 21st. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude for October delivery rose $1.13 to $69.27 a barrel, recovering from $61.74, also a low since May 21st, hit in early Asia trade. Now, a quick look at other prices of commodities in the markets. Moplan.com has a summary of the capital market in the week ended.
The NGX All Share Index depreciated by 0.10% to close the week ended 20th August 2021 at 39,483.08, with market capitalization depreciating to 20.571 trillion naira. 866.5 million shares worth 12.2 billion naira in 17,291 deals exchanged hands by investors on the floor of the exchange. All indices finished lower with the exception of the NGX Premium, NGX Afri-Div Yield, NGX Industrial Goods and NGX Sovereign Bond indices, while the NGX ASEM and NGX Growth indices closed flat. The financial services industry measured by volume led the activity chart with 445.3 million shares valued at 3.6 billion naira traded in 7,560 deals. The consumer goods industry followed with 119.6 million shares valued at 4.9 billion naira, while the ICT sector occupied the third place. Trading in the top three equities, Honeywell Flour Mill, Transnational Corporation of Nigeria, and Guarantee Trust Holding Company were the top trades measured by volume. A total of 1.001 million units of exchange-traded products ETPs valued at 16.762 million naira were traded in the week in 14 deals. Also traded in the week were 30,877 units of federal government bonds valued at 31.8 million naira. 36 equities appreciated in price in the week. 33 equities depreciated in price, while 87 equities remained unchanged.
Now, European markets edge higher, looking to bounce back from worst weeks since February. Just Hong Kong Hang Seng Index edges out of bear territory. Boside Abel has more on the markets.
Hello and welcome to the Global Market Review. Traders across the globe are monitoring issues such as global monetary policy, the Delta COVID variant, and Chinese tech crackdown. European markets were slightly higher on Monday, looking to rebound after recording their worst week since February. DAX was 0.09% higher at 15,821.8. FTSE 100 was 0.38% at 7,114.82, and CAC 40 of France was 0.77% higher at 6,677.87. Shares in Asia Pacific advanced during Monday's trade as Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index bounced back after slipping into bear market territory last week. The Hang Seng Index rose 1.05% higher at 25,109.59. Monday's gain for the Hang Seng Index came after heavy losses last week, with the index falling more than 20% below its mid-February high. Mainland Chinese stocks also rose on the day, with the Shanghai Composite up 1.45% higher to close 3,477.13, and the Nikkei also topping 1.78% to close 27,494.24. U.S. stock futures were higher in early trading Monday, following a volatile week on Wall Street, as investors eye a key event where the Federal Reserve could hint at prospects for tapering stimulus. Dow Jones Industrial Average was up at 0.65% higher at 35,120.08, S&P 500 0.81%, and Nasdaq Composite maintained 1.19%. Africa stocks also started the first trading day in positive territory, with South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40, Nairobi's All Share, Ghana's GSE Composite, and Namibia's overall index posted gains, while Tunisia's Tunidex was down 0.19% at 7,309.26. That's the market review segment on the global scene. I am Bosede Abel.
Now, this is where we end this edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on the NTA's channel. Business Express returns Tuesday by 9:30 a.m. I am Musa Abubakar saying stay safe.